Interestingly enough, right after we did this movie, the next job we went on was a Bob Marley musical at Baltimore Center Stage, and we played close friends again. So it was like, we were destined to be brothers on set and work together.
Right. What about you, Michael?
It's amazing to see how this movie came together, because I just studied my role and I only got the scripts for my scenes. And to see how everything is put together is amazing. Christ did a wonderful job with directing this and putting it together. And the question you asked earlier about relating to the characters, I grew up with killers, but I never killed nobody. But
Really trying to say that. I can say the same thing. I grew up with killers and I shot nobody. I can relate to the friendship part, like growing up with friends and having that loyalty and that bond and kind of willing to do anything when you know it ain't right for your friends. So I think we had a ball on set.
Indeed.
It kind of bonded, so you could kind of see it on film. So it worked for us.
Absolutely. And it's talking about, and like it feels like an overarching theme in the film. To me, it seems like choices is like a common theme throughout the film. Why do you feel like that was an important message to convey?
I think a lot had to do with the theme throughout with the American dream.
Yeah.
Right? And so, which dream is for you? Are you gonna make the choice to go in the straight and narrow? Or are you gonna take a difficult choice for some may call it the easy choice, and go with the streets if that's what you know. So there's many choices to make. So it's which choice works for you. And for Kat, he went with what he knew. His back was against the wall. It wasn't an easy choice. It wasn't like, obviously that wasn't his first choice. He went to work at the grocery store, right? You know what I mean? Then somebody came in and disrespected him in a way that he felt was unnecessary, that made him think about certain things, as well as his mom being sick, no money, a lifestyle he wasn't used to.
Right.
So he made the choice that he felt was best for him at the time, unfortunately.
Right. Christ, in the beginning of the film, like in the opening scenes, the teacher says to Kat, it talks about their view of the American dream. What does that look like to you?
Pretty much the American dream to me is whatever you depict it to be. So too many times we allow other people to define what is success to us. A big car, a big house, a this, or that. Just because you have the $200,000 house and he have the $1 million house, that doesn't mean he's more happy. Because the $1 million house man may want the $10 million house, but the $200 million house man is good. He comes home comfortable, kicked off his shoes and everything. His dream that's his dream. But with social media and everything else that's going on today, to depict our own dream, we need to say, you know what, this is what I want to do. This is what's going to make me happy. And that's what it's about.
Anyone else want to add to that? Tone, you want to speak on that too, Tone? What's American dream to you, Tone?
For Americans.
So American. And immigrants too.
It's funny that he said that though, because one of the things I think will really resonate, this film will resonate, is with Jamaicans.
Yeah.
Jamaicans always talk about the American dream. Like, Jamaica is a third world country. We
should stop saying that.
I mean, I know I say that.
Next debate.
Next debate. The fact of the matter is that we don't have as many resources as you guys have here in America. So we always, for the most part, always look to America as the place to run off to and the place to get better at. And one of the things I liked about this film is that Christ really incorporated in the script, especially with the mom and that relationship of her running off and trying to find a better life, and then sending for him and the sister and the whole family, and them coming up and realizing that it's not a bed of roses. He had to be mopping inside of a grocery store. Like even we as individuals, as actors, we talk about the come up. It's not easy. We were waiting tables or whatever it is. It's the American dream as Jamaicans think of it in their heads. is so different and so skewed. So that's what I liked about this film. It opened the eyes of Jamaicans seeing it, that it's not all a bed of roses up here.
Absolutely. Kind of leads into my next question, Christ, is like, you know, the film also explores like immigration and social struggles and things like that, kind of what you just touched on. Why was that important to touch on in this film?
I mean, for one, I'm come from a foreign background. So my family's Liberian, and we do the same thing that everybody else do.
Right.
Come running to America because that's where the money is. And the unfortunate part about it, when it comes to immigration, they would give the mother the visa, but not the child. So when she leaves the child behind, that child still has to survive. You know, so she comes here and she think it's gonna be easy. She gonna make all the money and send it back home, and she finds that she can't pay her damn rent. So then the money stopped going back home, but the child is struggling. Just like how you have deadbeat dads here, you have them there too. So obviously, if the mother left, where do you think the father is? He already left, you know. So now the child is there trying to figure out how to survive. It don't take much for you to corrupt the child, you know.
Right.
You simply come to him and say, hey, you know that person killed your father, and that's why you're doing bad today. You need to revenge that if you want to be a part of us. What is his choices? Starve or to become part of whatever it is. So by the time he gets here, what is he? He's corrupted. The character has already committed a murder before he gets here, but everybody overlooks that.
Right.
You know, and he did it as a child. He was manipulated to do it. But the minute you antagonize him, and mind you, another thing that we all missed in that movie is that when you get here, right?
Right.
Your first antagonist is not who? You don't see a white man. Not an Asian man. The first person to call you a coconut is who?
Your own person, your own people, right?
So when it go down, who you think gets it first? Right?
Right.
So that's pretty much, it's important to point that out in order for us to know that when we see someone comes here with an accent, treat them good. Treat them all right, because guess what? They're in your community. This is where they started off at. So when they grow or they call back home, they would say something good about you, as opposed to an African coming here and selling on a corner, and then he calls home and they say, what's going on? He said, well, I just got beat up by some black guys. And then we say, Africans don't like us. That's because of what you did to the man in the gate, you know? So he talked about you to his people. He said, I got beat up. Or a Spanish man, a Mexican, or anybody else that migrate here.
Right.
The first antagonists are actually the black Americans. I've seen it.
Right.
And so that is why I put that in there. You know? So we have to fix that, man.
Absolutely, man. You know, while watching this, I just couldn't think about this becoming the next cult classic, you know, following the footsteps of like the Bellies, the Carlitos Ways, and things like that.
Oh, absolutely. But I will say one thing, right? Unlike the Bellies, we're gonna be back again.
Oh,
Absolutely.
I was.
Listen, my team, we're gonna be consistent. That's the key component. That's why it took so long, because we had to get it right. There was many times this movie could have been out years ago, and I was like, nah, I'm not happy with that.
Right.
I'm not good with that distribution. I'm not good with that deal. I'm not good with that. No, it has to be in the right space, because this is a key to open the door for us to continue producing our own content, urban content.
Yes.
We're not going under anything to say, oh, we just another movie. No, we want to be separated from what Hollywood is doing. And when you define us, when you write about us, you write about urban content, because that's what we do.
Right.
No different than Tyler Perry catering to the Chitlin Circuit. $1
Yes.
billion+ later, a studio and everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
We need to separate ourselves. That's why, so guys like you won't have to worry about getting an award for
Yeah.
playing a great role, because they're comparing you to something by somebody who's judging you that don't know who the fuck you are.
Talks about the independency of, you know, owning your own. So
Absolutely.
Right.
And that's why we did it from the beginning to the end. We had people that wanted to step in. Hey, let us give you some money. We could this, we could that. We could finish this for you. I'm like, yo, if you start the race and you don't finish it, what do they call you?
a loser.
A loser.
Right.
Because where I come from, there's no second place trophies. It's a two-man race. You came in second, dude. You the loser, man. You know, no participation trophy around here. We have to win. And to see all these people in here, it defines what? A win.
That's a big win. It seems like there were no winners at the end, because I was alluding to, You know, in every cult classic, there's an epic gun battle scene, man. That battle was really, I was like maybe the best I've seen since The Town.
Yeah, thank you.
To the
For
cast,
allotting
how
tonight.
fun was making that particular scene?
That scene was real fun. Funny story about that scene. I don't know if you remember that, Sean, but I think that might have been like the first or the second day we were shooting. You probably remember this.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, right. So I never held a big gun like that. I never shot a gun like that. Like, you know, I don't come from that, right? So, well, I don't think too many people should come from that shooting that type of guns, right? So we get ready, and I believe it's the shot where I'm like down like that,
Yeah.
and we shoot it, and it's like action, and I start busting, and they like cut, and they start laughing. I'm like, oh, what's going on? They're like, man, did you see? If you only could have saw your face when you shot the gun, like, because you know I wasn't prepared for what kind of sound was about to come out. I'm a little nervous and scared, like you know. So it was interesting, and then after we went again, and of course I manned it, as you saw, you know. So it was good. It was a ball. Then I had to carry this dude, and Vado was shooting his guns
Vado was
everywhere,
going in, man.
There's funny stories about Vado too on set, man. Funny stories about Vado.
What's some funny stories I have with Vado? Vado, you enjoyed shooting that scene, man?
Of course, that was the best scene to me. You know what I mean? But nah, here's one funny story. I actually slipped on black ice. Like, you know, when I got hit and I fell, no, I really fell. Legs in the air, like, I was really hurt, you know, so, but, you know, this is something I always wanted to do besides music. You know, so I was definitely prepared for it, you know, and, you know, hopefully y'all see many more.
Absolutely. And lastly, you know, the name of the film is called Respect The Jux, and this is to anyone on the panel. Is there ever a time someone should respect the Jux?
Absolutely, yes.
What
You
should
know,
respect the Jux?
I mean, you know, you figure in everywhere, it don't matter where you go, whether it be Jamaica, Africa, France, there's certain places where people are hungry, you know, and if you got it all and you just flaunting it, this man can't pay his goddamn electric bill, he can't put food on the table, but yet this ain't my chain, by the way, you wearing a chain like this, right? I'm not saying you shouldn't have this nice chain, but you should know where you are, man. And if you dare, you know, a lot of times, like, and I've done it, I bought a Benz in Pennsylvania. I got in the Benz, you know what I did? I started driving straight back to New York City. And you know where I went? Straight to the goddamn hood. Because at that point, I didn't know who else I could impress. You see, the neighborhood I was staying in at the time, they weren't impressed by a Benz. So I took that Benz and went back to the hood. And I had on this damn freaking watch that was stupid, right? So one of my dudes get in the car, he says to me, he like, oh shit, yo bro, you the one they talking about. I said, what do you mean? He said, man, niggas talking about Jux and you. You the one with the blue face rollie. I'm like, oh shit. That turned into something ugly. You see what I'm saying? But I was the cause of that. I came into a place where nobody had anything. But yet I'm wearing a $60,000 watch and a brand new freaking car with 10 tags on it. To do what? To make them feel like shit? So at that point, if I got Jux, guess what? You gotta respect the Jux.
Absolutely. And one last thing, what's the takeaway from this film? You know, we talking about independence, we're talking about obviously respecting the Jux, but what's the main takeaway?
First, I would address the main purpose of this film is opportunity. Opportunity, and next to that is freedom. Freedom to do it how we want to do it. So, in order for you to get opportunity, you have to prove that you can actually do something. For example, if you haven't proven that you could do what you could do, right, and you haven't done it again, you think we can have you on the stage right now doing this?
I don't think so.
Hell no. If you never painted a car, you think I'm gonna give you my car to paint? The first thing you ask a man is, have you done it before? And, you know, starting with Respect The Jux, I was out there, I went to talk to a lot of people to raise money to do the movie initially. And the question will always come up, oh, you shot a movie before? I'd be like, nah, but Respect The Jux, shit, And then after a couple of months, I won't hear from them no more. So I had to ask myself the question, would I give me the money to shoot Respect The Jux? And the answer was, fuck no. Why? Because you never done it.
Right.
And I don't trust nobody with anything that they've never done before. None of these guys would be on the stage if I felt that they never acted before. And that is why I went SAG. I could have got a bunch of other people, but I was like, nah, man, I want people that have done it before. I work with people that have shot films, cinematographer, editors, people like that. Because we have to start hiring professionals in order for us to deliver quality material that's at industry standards for us to get the respect that we want to be in the business.
Well, guys, I thank you again for everyone for coming out tonight. For seeing Respect The Jux. Round of applause for the cast and crew.